Pewter was very common in this country. It was regulated by the British, which had America as a captive audience for the pewter that was exported. No, it's true, from England. And pewterware was the Tupperware of its day. Everybody had pewter. It was inexpensive. It was easily replaceable. It was, everybody had pewter, you know, and so I'm not a real pewter collector. I collect objects that are useful in teaching. If you are even more interested, you can join an organization, and I'm a member, but you know, and I find it very useful. For me, it's called the Pewter Collectors Club of America. They put out a magazine with the funds that they collect. The dues are $40 a year. I don't get any kind of a cut. I'm just telling you about it. And the articles are wonderful. The money that I pay in dues goes to funding research. You know, and so here's an article on Asian pewter. There was another wonderful article on Britannia metal, which is a high quality form of pewter. You know, high tin content is high quality. So all of these are here, and then there's a terrific English book here, Pewter Smithing by Hull and Merrill, that talks about handmade pewter and commercial pewter. So I tried to bring a representative a group of pieces. You're welcome to look through these. Handouts are on the side. I want to tell you just one more thing here before we go in and try to do some casting. I have examples of cast pewter spoons, colonial molds. This is a special one. Pewter is very weak. You know, if you try to dig ice cream out, you end up with something like that. You can't do it. It's good for soup, not ice cream. This one has a steel wire around which the pewter is cast. This one doesn't bend. It's called a wired spoon. So the pewter has ingested a steel wire in its midst. And I paid a lot of money for this because it's not only beautiful, it's usable to a greater degree. I have, one thing I do collect in a kind of an offhand way, are pewter inlaid cutlery. The cutlery is made of steel, and then they create these impressions, and I don't quite know how they create these impressions. Somehow they're carved out. These were made in the mid-1800s, 1850, in Connecticut and Massachusetts. And the pewter is then poured into the impressions, cut into wood, and I collect ones that have end caps on them. Not all of them do. The ones with the end caps hold their form. If there's no cap on the end, the wood dries and springs open sometimes. But these are particularly nice ones. A bone handle, cow bone, and then this is ebony and rosewood. This is a child's set of cutlery in rosewood. Just really handsome objects. By the way, these are very inexpensive. I find these in flea markets, and they often cost $5 or less. And I hate to tell you that because now you're all going to be but I'm from Wisconsin, so they don't come out my way, I don't mind. But we'll talk about one more thing before we go in the other room. I was just showing this to Susie Gunch, and I got this in Goodwill for $1.10 or $1.19, I can't tell me. The Americana series of Pewter Crafts. Red, white, and magic marker. And I'm reading this thing, and it talks about the history of pewter and how it's been used in this country, and conjures up all kinds of feelings of patriotism and everything else. And I take the object out, and it turns out to be this amazingly ugly little mug, which comes with its own finishing materials. A mild abrasive, and you are told to believe that this is a product of American history, you know, and it's this crappy little thing. And then as you look at it, right on top, it says, Natural Science Industries, made and assembled in Mexico. I thought this is one of the funniest objects that I've ever come across. Okay. So on that happy note, let's go into the room where we're going to do the casting, and we'll try to cast this. It may not work, but we'll try to cast it.